Hi everybody, it's Fiona, one of the experts from Q Marketplace. Q has a management dashboard with insights all about your business, software spend, and one monthly bill, which can save you time and money when managing your business, and you can get back to doing the things that you love. And speaking of things that you love, let's talk about payroll. Maybe not so much. As a business owner, you're probably doing a lot of admin, and payroll and all the components that come with it just add more on top of what you're already doing. Purchasing payroll software can take away some of this hassle, and there are a lot of really good options out there for small businesses. So I'm going to take you through two of the best, Gusto and Patriot Payroll. We're going to compare them based on their features, their integration, their pricing, their support and setup, and hopefully by the end you'll be able to make a decision about which would be right for your small business. So let's get started. Watch till the end of this video for a special offer from Q. Let's start out by comparing Gusto versus Patriot Payroll using the comparison chart on the Q website. You can find this comparison chart in the description for this YouTube video below, or you can go to qmarketplace.com, this URL up here, and find it for yourself. Gusto versus Patriot Payroll, you will see that Gusto is always on the left, Patriot always on the right. And I want to start out by talking about some of the features. Here under included features, we just have a list of the basic features that you could have for payroll. And starting out with the first feature that's grayed out for both of the softwares, clock in at point of sale. And what this means is that neither Gusto nor Patriot have the ability for your employees to clock in at the point of sale. This may be important for your business. For example, if you're running a brick and mortar store like a coffee shop, you want your employees to be able to show up for their shift, clock in at the same place that they're serving customers. It might work very well for the way that they run their shift. But if you have a different type of business, if you don't need your employees to clock in, having this feature is probably not so important. Let's talk about the next feature, automatically import hours. What it means to automatically import hours is that if for whatever reason you're keeping track of your employees' hours in an Excel spreadsheet or a different type of spreadsheet, with Gusto you can take this information and upload it, and the details of the clock in, clock out for each employee will automatically be imported into the software. However, Patriot, they don't have this feature, which means that if you're keeping information in an Excel spreadsheet, you'll need to manually update and add all of this information. And then for the next feature, automatic payroll. Let's talk about what automatic payroll is. This means that you can set up the software to run payroll for a certain amount of time on a certain day, and you don't need to manually initiate the payroll. For Gusto, on the left, you can have it set up and start running all by itself. But with Patriot, what you'll need to do is to initiate payroll by logging into your account, running payroll, and then approving to have the payroll run. And you can't set it up to run at a particular time of day. And then finally, this last comparison point where they differ is notification of payment. And what this means is that when you're using Gusto, your employees will get a notification. In this case, it's an email with a little hooray, you got paid in the title of the email, and they'll be notified that they have received their paycheck. For Patriot, they don't have a feature like this. It may or may not be important to you, but it won't notify your employees that they have been paid. Next, I want to talk about the payroll features that each of these software has. Gusto on the left, Patriot on the right, and as you can see, they have all of the same features under this category. But I want to take you through each of the features and explain a little bit what they mean. First of all, for PCI compliance, this means payment card industry. That's what PCI stands for. And it's a protection for an online transaction, the type of transaction, for example, that you would have between your bank account and your employee's bank account. And you probably want PCI compliance for all of the payroll software that you would be looking into, not just these two. Additionally, for sick leave tracking, paid time off tracking, What this means is that the software will automatically help you keep track of when your employees are out of the office, for what reason, and how much money they're owed or not owed for their work. And that goes as well for overtime calculations. And then finally, workers' compensation. This means that it will automatically pull out the amount that you owe each month for workers' compensation without you having to calculate it. And then finally, under the features, let's talk about usability. Again, both Gusto on the left and Patriot on the right are fairly comparable, but I want to talk through each of the features so you understand a bit more about what they mean. Direct deposit is pretty self-explanatory. It's where the payroll automatically deposits into your employees' accounts the amount that they're owed for working each month. And it makes it pretty easy for you since you don't have to write checks to all your employees. An online account for teams. Both of the software has these features, and what that means is that when your employees get paid, or if they want to check on how much they're getting paid, review their personal information, each employee is supplied with an online account where they can log in and check their information. And then finally, with payroll tax payments, this is anything from federal income tax, Social Security, Medicare tax. The software will help you out with all of them, help you calculate the amount that you owe and need to take out. And then I should also mention that you have the ability to download with both of these softwares W-2 forms and also 1099 forms. The last component of features that I want to take you through is setup for each of these softwares, because setup is something that can be very time-consuming for a business owner. Let's start with Gusto. Gusto has the most modern and intuitive setup of many of the payrolls out there. It's one of the reasons it was rated Best Online Software for 2018 by PC Mag. You can set up payroll in 8 guided steps, and it takes the business owner around 7 minutes. And the reason it's so quick is that employees themselves enter their personal details like Social Security number and tax withholding preferences. And as an employee who's been on the other side, I can say that entering my personal information through Gusto was just as easy. It took me maybe 10 minutes to put in my personal information, my tax withholding, and then I was done. Setup for Patriot is initially a little more time consuming, as you have to, as the business owner, enter the payment history for each of your employees and your company's unemployment insurance tax rate, and you also have to enter their personal details and tax withholding preferences for each employee. And at the end of this features review, I would say that Gusto is pulling ahead a little bit from Patriot Payroll, mostly because they have the most intuitive setup. They also have a lot more automated features, like you can automatically import hours, automatically start payroll, and your employees get a very nice notification when they've been paid, which is very much appreciated. But let's keep going and see how Patriot shakes out over other comparisons. How are you going to be accessing your software? Probably through the cloud, because nobody uses CD-ROMs anymore. Gusto and Patriot are both cloud software. They're available on Windows and Mac computers, and really the differentiator in this category is Gusto. Here on the left, they have customized their site to be mobile ready and responsive. So if you want to run payroll from your phone, that's what you can do. Let's talk about support. As you can see, both Gusto on the left, Patriot on the right, they have support through live chat, phone, email, knowledge base, and I have used the live chat for both sites. I can say that they're very responsive, very informative and helpful. Knowledge base is if you want to go online and read FAQs or instructions on how to get set up or how to use the payroll functionality. You'll probably get along very well already with these support options, but looking at Patriot here on the right, if you know that you're the person that needs 24/7, 365 support, if you have a lot of questions, or if you want to be able to access information and speak to a person at any point during the day or night, Patriot is definitely the software for you. Money is always the thing that people are wondering about. How much is this going to cost me? Well, the first thing to say is that with Gusto and Patriot, you can have a free trial for 30 days, meaning that you don't have to pay any money to figure out if this software is right for you. Just try it out. Both of these companies have multiple pricing plans, and I'm going to dig into these a little bit more. The first is Patriot, and I want to start with Patriot because this is where they really win out. Patriot's been described as the most affordable payroll option for small businesses by some review sites out there. And I can see why, because they have $10 a month as their base price and only $4 for every employee. So if it's just you running payroll for yourself, $14 a month. The smaller your business, the cheaper the software is going to be for you. Looking at Gusto, they have 3 tiers of pricing. They have Core, Complete, and Concierge. And this price here, $45 a month, represents that their base price is $39 a month, and they charge $6 per month per user. So $45 if it's just running payroll for one person. Also, their basic plan includes health benefits and workers' comp, but again, Patriot, super cheap, especially if you're only running payroll for a few employees. The last feature that I want to talk about is integration. As you can see, Gusto here on the left has far more integrations. They will work with FreshBooks, QuickBooks Online, and Xero accounting software. And then they also have an integration with the employee scheduling software When I Work. On the other hand, Patriot here on the right only integrates with QuickBooks Online, which is fine if that is your accounting software of choice. The other thing to say is that both of these softwares have the component of added HR software if you want to pay for this feature, and this will increase your monthly costs but will make your life easier with expanded payroll and HR capabilities. So how does this shake out? Well, we're up here at the top of our comparison chart again with Gusto and Patriot Payroll. And looking here at the Q-score, you can see that both Gusto and Patriot have a 4.2 out of 5. When you're looking for payroll for your small business, there's a lot of good options out there, and I would have to say that Gusto and Patriot are some of the best for small businesses. So how to make a choice between them? It really comes down to functionality or price. If we're talking about Gusto, they are faster in terms of setup, they have more automation overall, and they send your employees a really cheerful email when they get paid every month. On the other hand, Patriot, they are a cheaper option. They will mean a little bit more setup on the front end and data input potentially, but if you're running a small company with say 5 employees or fewer, they're a great cost-effective option. Thanks for watching this video, Gusto versus Patriot Payroll software. If you're still interested and you have questions, you can find the links to each of the products below in this YouTube video. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them. We will get back to you. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for our next video.